Thursday night, ESPN Boulder, Colorado. It's Colorado favored by 9.5 points against FCS power North Dakota State. Now, typically you see that matchup and you're like, okay, I mean, it's a FCS school, right? Like Colorado should roll. Yes and no. Like North Dakota State now, when I said FCS power, I meant that. They have the second best odds in FCS to win the whole darn thing this year. And Colorado now, coming off a 4-8 season, if they don't bring their A game, they will get beat. All right, that's not me calling my shot. We're going to give you our pick in this game right now, give you our prediction in this game right now. But I'm just saying, this could be a very exciting matchup, more exciting than I think the folks out there in Boulder, Colorado would like it to be. That is within the realm of possibility. Two things I want to tell you about. One, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That's first. Second, the hard count is brought to you by our friends over at PrizePicks. Now, if you have not yet played PrizePicks, it's daily fantasy, an absolute blast to play. We did a lot of it last year, had a great time. Super easy to use, safe, easy withdrawal. If you use code HARDCOUNT when you sign up, play $5 in lineups, get yourself $50 in guaranteed promo funds. Again, that's prizepicks.com, promo code HARDCOUNT, $5 in lineups, gets you $50 in promo funds to work with. We got some picks in this game as well for you. So when it comes to this whole deal, this is, for Colorado at least, our first look as the college football public at the second evolution of what Coach Prime has done out there in Boulder. Because people look at last year and how hot they started, and then once they sort of tailed off, they're like, oh, see, told you he can't hang, told you he's not the right guy. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? They won one game before he got there. They started off hot and didn't finish the way they wanted to, but are you telling me that's not a success? Improving by 3 wins? And also, just to call a spade here, making themselves relevant in the modern landscape of college football. Not that I want to be more relevant from a wins and losses perspective, but just to say that they're not relevant or to say that they don't matter or to say that last year, this is the big thing, to say last year wasn't a success to me, I think is a bit foolish. So year 2 now, hit the portal again, kind of hit the revamp button again. How does that translate in year 2 of the Coach Prime era? Now for North Dakota State, you walk into this game, man, and like, in a lot of ways, this is house money. Because if you lose the game, oh, we're the FCS team, weren't really supposed to win the game, we're more or less right around a double-digit point underdog. Oh, well, everything we want to do is still in front of us. But if you win the game, walking with your chest out, you're a national story. A lot of things would compound in a positive way for North Dakota State if you can win this game. So, the keys to this game, for me, this game is about Colorado. This game is about Colorado. Now, in a lot of ways, you talk about what North Dakota State has to do, and they're going to have, obviously, like their fair share of things to say when it comes to the outcome of this game, when it comes to actually what happens on the field. But in terms of like how this thing really, can and potentially should play out, if Colorado brings their A game to the table, they will win and they will cover. Now, the big thing to watch here is how improved are they in the trenches. Because last year, Colorado allowed like right around 170 yards rushing a game. Allowed. It's not good. There's a reason why there's a whole new group in that front seven for the most part. Not an entire new group, but a lot of new faces. Coach Prime's like, that ain't good enough. We got to get better. Goes to the portal. You'll see some new faces, like I said, trying to stop the run. North Dakota State now averaged 200 yards plus on the ground last year. That is going to be more than good enough to win this football game. A North Dakota State win, in my mind, would look a lot like the Bison able to kind of just slow the game down, keep Shedeur Sanders on the sideline, just milk the clock. You look up in the end of the first half, and you're like, man, Colorado touched the ball twice that half. Like, that is winning football. You limit the possessions for Shedeur, good things will happen for North Dakota State. Now, within that, we talked about the trenches on the defensive side for Colorado. Offensive side has to get better too. Looking at a more or less brand new offensive line up front for them. If you protect Shedeur Sanders, you give your skill players a chance to have the maximal amount of impact on this game. And if that happens, Colorado is rolling. Because as good as I think North Dakota State is, there's not a lot of teams in America where if it's our guys on the perimeter versus your guys for Colorado, where you don't take that bet if you're Colorado. Like Travis Hunter, going to be a focal point of this offense. LeJontay Wester is a transfer for them from FAU. Jimmy Horn, like there's a lot of dudes they can throw the football to at Colorado. if you give Shedeur Sanders a chance to be, if you give Shedeur Sanders rather a chance to be upright and to be able to digest the whole picture, go through his progressions, and not get interrupted by having an extra blitz off the edge or just being rushed overall, that is an advantage to Colorado. That is how they would like this thing to go. Now, I think it's also worth noting you need to have some presence to run the football. Because as good as I think Colorado, I'll rephrase that. As much as Colorado may have improved on the offensive line from last year, remains to be seen, I don't think it's a situation where you can just be one-dimensional offensively. If that's the way that you go about your business in this game, I don't think it'll be a positive thing for the folks out there in Boulder. So, at the end of the day, the way that I see this thing going, I think LaJohntay Wester and Travis Hunter both have big days through the air. I think Shedeur Sanders and how fresh this team is right now physically is going to play in their favor. If you got this game in October, maybe it worries you a little bit more because of how physical an outfit North Dakota State is. They could wear on you and take advantage of some things. But I think Colorado gets out to a hot start. I think that, again, Travis Hunter, his number is 70.5 when it comes to reception yards over at PrizePicks. LaJohntay Wester, his number is 68.5 receiving yards for both those cats. I'm taking the more on both Travis Hunter, 70.5 receiving yards, and LaJohntay Wester, 68.5 receiving yards. I think Colorado improves up front. I think they get a good tone set for what they're going to be in 2024, and they lay the foundation to build upon it going forward. So I like Colorado to win this game. I like them to win this game right around the 31-21 range. So we'll take Colorado to cover, and we'll take Colorado to win, and Coach Prime avoids a bunch of extra narratives that would have been thrown around his football team should they have lost to an FCS team in North Dakota State. And, again, that up front play for Colorado on both sides of the football may not look perfect, but I think you get a good litmus test and you see some improvement against, again, a very respectable FCS outfit in North Dakota State. So, again, the prize picks we have for you. Redeem code HARDCOUNT for if you play $5 in lineups, $50 in promo funds. That's a good way to go about your business. Travis Hunter, we like the more on 70.5 receiving yards, and LaJohntay Wester, the more on 68.5 receiving yards for him. You put those two together. That's how you play prize picks, and you do 2 or more player projections. You're off to the races, having a good time, and using code HARDCOUNT to get you started. Make sure you're subscribed. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.